Good evening, Speed Gaming 2, and welcome to the next Final Fantasy V Career Day Randomizer Winter Race. How is everybody doing out there tonight? We are about to bring you the Game 2 of the lower bracket finals between Freddeh and Dryzalizer. Dryzalizer won Game 1 of this series, so if Dryzalizer wins, he goes up to the grand final to face Judge Joe, who is awaiting them. If Freddeh wins, then he forces a Game 3. How is everybody doing out there tonight? I am Z-Man050778, and joining me tonight in the commentator's booth, who is also doing double duty as tracking, is Judge Joe. Joe, how are you doing tonight? How are you looking forward to this race?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting one. Both of these races are very good. Have to be in this stage. You don't get here through luck alone. So it's going to be an exciting one. Last race between the two of them kind of came down to the final fight. So looking forward to another close one.
Yeah, indeed. So really quickly, let me give you our party lineup, because if this happens to be your first time watching one of these races, this is the draft tournament. So what winds up happening is player one gets to either ban two classes or select a class. Okay, so what wound up happening is the first thing done was Samurai and White Mage were banned. Okay. Chemist and Black Mage were banned next, and then we had a whole bunch of picks. So, Summoner, Red Mage, Mystic Knight, and the Freelancer is our party. Again, that is Summoner, Red Mage, Mystic Knight, Freelancer. So this is a very magic-heavy party. The Summoner and the Mystic, well, the Summoner really is what's going to be doing the yeoman's work as far as damage goes. So we're going to be looking for Bahamut, we're going to be looking for Leviathan, we're going to be looking for Sildra real early to do some big damage. Red Mage. The Red Mage is a character that exists. It is extraordinarily average to below average, but the thing is with the Red Mage is once you max out his ability points, the Red Mage will give you X Magic, dual cast, however you want to put it, which is absolutely broken with a Summoner. So that's a good thing. Mystic Knight, fairly consistent source of damage, can be a consistent source of one-shots if you hit a weakness with a tier 3 sword magic. And also, the really nice thing about the Mystic Knight is you can break blade one of the 3 parts of Neo X staff. We'll get into that in a bit. Freelancer, jack of all trades, master of none. So, can equip everything, can do anything, but base stats aren't super high on their own. All right, and we are off. The typical route here we will see from our runners is they're going to loot Castle Tycoon for all the goodies, and then they'll probably go into Kuza Castle and then into the Void, because we do start with a tablet, which gives us access to 3 items in Kuza Castle, and it also gives us access to the first 6 treasure chests of the Void. All right. So again, if anybody happens to be joining us for the first time here tonight, as you can see, all the treasure chests are randomized, but they're randomized in a tiered system. For example, the treasure chests we're about to get out of Kuza Castle and the Void are some of the highest. And did I just see Ice 3 sword magic in a pot?
Yep, that rolled a little higher than usual, but with Red Mage and not Black Mage, getting any tier 3 elementals definitely would prefer sword because it allows us to cast it.
So, and as kind of just we kind of sort of alluded to, right? There is a 20% chance that chests can roll up to 3 tiers up, which obviously that one pot did, because we did find Ice 3 sword magic. All right, so let's see what we have here. Freddeh is digging out Kuza Castle. We're looking for some good summons, maybe a Ragnarok, maybe a Mirage Vest, maybe some running shoes. Let's see what we get.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Leviathan. All right, well, that to me, that's a snap take, but you never know what else might be in here.
Might be Sildra, might be something a little cheaper, but very, very likely to end up taking Leviathan at this rate. One other thing to note is our runners in the castle received the first of up to 15 hints, and all it was letting us know that libraries are barren. If we're visiting the library, ancient library, we're only going there to quick grab the hint, maybe heal at the pot. There is no need to fight either of the 2 boss checks there.
Sage Staff being one of the first 4 chests in the Void is really nice. The Freelancer can equip it, and using it as an item will cast life. So that is fantastic. And there's Flare Sword magic. Excellent.
Flare Sword magic is definitely our big find. One good thing about the Freelancer, it can equip anything, which includes some of the strongest swords, such as Ragnarok or the Brave Blade. While their accuracy is not necessarily the best, it still is some of the best weapons to join with Flare Sword magic in a pure damage. If you're looking for, say, Break Blade, you might just want to stick with a basic knife with a higher accuracy and to ensure you get the status effect.
So something worth noting here, Freddie went up to Rugor to get the strength suit out of the ribbon spot. That's usually the girl that gives you the ribbon, but also checked the shops and found a wizard rod immediately for purchase. So he sold the 1 angel ring and purchased a wizard rod, which will increase any elemental damage specifically out of the summoner. We really don't care about the red mage damage.
Unfortunately, the one element we currently have of Leviathan is the one element that can only be boosted by a chemist with water.
Yeah. That is a minor little issue. All right, so we're going to have Dryzalizer checking out the Pirate's Cove here, see if there's anything good here. So the Sildra spot here that Dryzalizer is about to check, I believe it's a relatively high tier check. I think it's like a tier 6, so it can roll up to a tier 9, depending on if it hits the 20%. So you can get some awfully good stuff here sometimes. I know it's about to make a liar out of me, but a diamond shield, yeah, it just made a liar out of me.
I've seen Medio, I've seen lots of things. Giant's Glove is pretty good for the Freelancer. With our current job selection, Freelancer gets its statuses, strength, magic, agility, all of that from mastered other jobs. None of our other 3 jobs of Red Mage, Summoner, none of those jobs are particularly strength great. Mystic Knight is the best with a reasonable strength, but while we're early on, that Giant's Glove will help increase the strength, allowing us to deal more damage with the full equipping anything of the Freelancer.
And this seed is telling our runners, you should have taken a Berserker, right? Earth Hammer, Doom Axe, all that stuff nice and early out of the gate. You should have taken a Berserker.
Or Black Mage, because as our runners have also found Break, which is Black 4, which is 1 tier higher than you can find with Red Mage.
Or even Blue Mage, because we did find Big Guard in the Void. A couple of hints to catch everybody up on. In the town of Rugor, the guy in the bar there said that the Moor Forest leads to the Shrine page. And then here in Tool, the hint is Adamantite is present in World 1.
Yay! So far, nothing too helpful yet. Neither the Shrine page nor the Adamantite are key items runners are necessarily excited to chase after, and we still have not received any of our 5 Path of the Void hints, which will help guide the runners along the proper path. But there's still plenty of hints left. They've only checked 3 of the starting 10 hints available to them.
Yep, and right now, right, this is pretty standard routing, right? I mean, you loot stuff to get gold, you buy stuff to get stuff, and you go from there, right? Dryzalizer going to Karnak. There's a bunch of shops here in Karnak, so you can usually find some halfway decent stuff here sometimes.
Definitely a play Dry has been fond of for early power. Find some good, strong consumables, along with picking up a couple cabins. Very good for later on. Freddeh is over in the town of Licks, which you'll get one random item, and I believe 4 shops, which could also help.
So, a big hint out of Karnak. Walsh Tower holds the second tablet.
That means we are looking for one of 2 key items, potentially. The Walsh Tower key, where you'll go the vanilla World 1, climb up the tablet where there's the water crystal, and fight an easy boss. Or, and the runners are probably hoping this isn't the case, you need the sub key, where you can go to World 3, and go to Underwater Walls Tower, where you would normally fight Go-Go to acquire the Mimic job in the vanilla game. That is the hardest location outside of the Void in the randomizer. It all depends on the boss, but in its ranking-wise, it is listed as the hardest location. So runners are probably hoping not to have to go there.
48,000 HP for a single enemy there, I do believe, something around those lines. It's disgustingly high.
Higher HP than many spots in the Void also.
Mm-hmm. And I forget what the hint, if it was at the Shiva spot, that would be Kingdom of Walsh. That's right.
Walsh
that would be
Kingdom.
Walsh Kingdom. Right. So if it
it's
was
either Walsh Kingdom or Walsh Castle,
right.
But either way, it's in Walsh Castle at the Shiva at that point.
Right. Yep. All right. So Freddeh pulling the first boss of the game, and it is Greg 1. Oh, great.
Bye. Type of boss you might carry to the Red Mage and hope Sage's staff can do 250. However, I still don't believe it can. So, still no XP for our runners outside of the 1 level they get from the goblins.
Yep, and the big find here for our runners at the key item spot was the submarine key. So we immediately have that absolutely Sildra summon up here. That might be almost more valuable than the sub key right now. But the submarine key does open up a bevy of spots, including that underwater walls check that we kind of just referred to.
It'll be interesting to see once we get couple insta-kills if we can find Odin, Shoat, or Breakblade. If any runners attempt an early underwater walls dive hoping for a potentially freer fight there.
Alright, Freddeh now moving along to the canal. Let's see what we have here. We have an abductor.
Speaking of free fights, abductor is weak to most insta-kill methods, if not all of them, outside of non-heavy elemental weaknesses, because it does not have one of those.
So one of the things that I was meaning to mention but got distracted by, Sildra, was that the reason why we kind of panned Gilgamesh 1, Greg 1, showing up as your first boss check is Greg 1, unless you can insta-kill it, does not give you any experience. So they didn't get any experience from the first check. And that can sometimes be a real big pain in the keister when doing these next couple of checks if you didn't get any levels. But abductor provided.
Currently, the one boss runners are hoping to avoid with no power staff or anything is Titan. He automatically, upon death, casts Earthshaker, which will do about 400 to 600 damage to your party, and it'll be a little bit before we have enough HP to survive that.
Yeah, I mean, there would be bosses that'd be nice to avoid. But yeah, Titan right now, Titan early is one of the bosses you really can't kill outside of, like you said, Power Staff, right? Because if you hit something with a Power Staff, it gets the Berserk status. And if something is under Berserk status, then it ignores any type of script that is attached to it. Speaking of bosses that offer no experience, hi, Antlion.
If we had found sleep at this point, we would be able to get XP. However, no sleep, no XP. What did our runners get from fighting the abductor?
A wonderful Avis killer.
Ah, yes. A nice bow. Not one of the two best bows, but if you're still looking for a weapon, it might be something to equip on the Freelancer.
Freddeh making a play I am quite fond of, and that is after doing... Oh!
What? Excuse me?
Running shoes, really. That's probably one of the... Is it the most broken item in the game? Haste, so running shoes grants its wearer permanent immovable haste status, which doubles the speed at which your ATB bar fills, which basically doubles the rate in which that wearer can do attacks. Yeah, that's fantastic.
It also prevents you from ever being able to be slowed, which is always annoying, and prevents paralysis. So if you run into Leviathan, that can be fixed. Speaking of bosses and Leviathan...
Oh, well, Sandworm will be wrecked here by Leviathan.
Always a good find to find Sandworm early.
White Suit is a very good item. It's probably the second best shirt or armor, however you want to term it, for any spellcaster. It gives a very good magic power bonus, and gives great defense. So there we go. White Suit, very good. But of course, we also got the Elder Branch there.
The Elder Branch is a interesting key item. It unlocks Moor Forest, which is probably one of the toughest locations in World 2. And if you, upon completion of Moor Forest, the Loof gets traded out with Terra or Kryle, depending on what translation you'd like to go with, who allows us access to Fork Tower, which is one of the toughest locations and least liked amongst many runners, because it forces you to split your party into two pieces for two different fights. It can be real problematic depending on who the bosses are.
Yeah, that can be a real gate if you get some real bad bosses there. But yeah, so... All right, so we did get the hint from the library that said Trench Page was in World 2.
Trench Page is nice. We mentioned that we only have 10 of 15 hints available. The ways to get the last 5 hints, the Mirage Radar allows you to go to Mirage Village, which has 2 hints. And then with the sub key and the Trench Page, there will be 3 hints in the trench.
Hi, Bahamut. Just sitting out, able to be purchased at one of the... this one was in Karnak, but the Karnak item shop is directly linked to a number of World 1 item shops. So Bahamut in a shop. So right now we have an absolutely positively overpowered summoner. We have Silder, we have Leviathan, we have Bahamut. Things are going to die.
We're just missing, the subtle part of Summoner. Golem for the great defenses. We're missing Odin for insta-kills and being one of the better single-target damage dealers out for MP. And we're also missing Shote for the other insta-kill.
And we are, so here at the Waltz Meteor, we are pulling the Necrophobe. Usually something you don't really want to see super early. Well, it depends. But here, right, with all these wonderful summons and rod breakers, this Necrophobe is going to die quickly. Like now.
Fun part about casting Leviathan against the Sandworm, for both runners, it costs 39 MP, and they have exactly 39 MP for that fight.
How nice. Alright, so the nice thing here about the Waltz Meteor check is that this does gives a boatload of experience, so you get a ton of levels off this. Alright, so that was a Zonk. Dryzalizer picking up his Elder Branch from the North Mountain 1 check. And of course, just as important as the Elder Branch was those running shoes.
It looked for a second like Dry might have gone to skip it, but ended up grabbing it, and I suspect Dry is extraordinarily happy he did.
So I'm not sure if Dry has checked any of the World 1 item shops yet to get Bahamut and, well, I mean, if we had a Time Mage, Meteo was also sitting in the same store as Bahamut, if we had a Time Mage. And I do know Time Mage is one of Dry's favorite jobs, so, you know, I mean, we could have had both. We could have had both Meteo and Bahamut out of a shop.
After the last 3 races, Dry has had Time Mage with extremely early Meteo. He decided he was a little bored with the Meteos. It kept on popping up, so he chose not to draft Time Mage this time, and pretty much as a I don't want to Meteo everything. So instead of Meteoing everything, we'll just Leviathan and Sildra stuff.
So one of the more useful status inflictors was just picked up. The Sleep Blade was picked up. I believe that was from Waltz Town. And the Sleep Blade has a number of uses, but really the key use of the Sleep Blade is when you find the Stalker. Stalker is susceptible to sleep, and you can sleep lock Stalker into one of his positions by using the Sleep Blade.
With our main magical damage being AoE, it could also be helpful to just sleep all 4 parts of Stalker so you don't get overwhelmed by Blaze counterattacks.
Yeah. Alright, so Dry's pulling the Necrophobe here from the Waltz Meteor, and I think we're going to have Freddeh go up Waltz Tower to the Shiva spot.
Yep, both runners making short work of Necrophobia. It's a tricky fight later, but having it this early is always good. Waltz Tower, Path to the Void. We already knew that.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. This game likes to get cute. Or this game likes to think it's cute sometimes. And what we could have seen there are 2 completely different hints, right? We could have seen Waltz Tower with Tablet 2, meaning the top of Waltz Tower with the Waltz Tower key. And that Waltz Tower Path to the Void could be that Underwater Waltz has something that is needed.
Like the Waltz Tower key.
Oh my god, wouldn't that be something? Yes, please. I want to see that.
I've definitely run into that situation in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Which Waltz Tower is it? Well, I guess I'll do Underwater Waltz. Oh.
Oh, well, we're getting some Bahamut on Bahamut violence.
Yeah, speaking of bosses you're happy to see out of the way early, Bahamut is one of them. Later on, has a chance of just gonna Mega Flare you. What do you mean you don't have wall up? I told you I'm going to Mega Flare you.
But we can't wall, and we can't love song. Uh-oh. That's a problem.
But
All right, so we have Freddie into World 2. Probably gonna go to the town of Moore first. Check out the Brave Blade chicken knife spot.
always good to find that hint and not have to gamble on Fork Tower. Fork Tower is 2 checks for 2 boss fights, so it's not a terrible location ever to go to. It's just tricky and can take a bit. So,
All right.
knowing that you're not wasting your time with it, really good.
Oh, look,
There's Doom. That's
there's-
the second of the Black Mage insta-kill spells. However, we have Summoner and not Black Mage.
Carbuncle
If you
can
want
be
the
very
Doom
handy.
status, Assassin Dagger or Doom Axe or Killer Bow are all things we can maybe, with the Freelancer, achieve Doom with.
Starfall Infinity, kind of alluding to chat what is in chat, kind of what is one of the jokes, at least of the early Final Fantasy series, right? Bahamut, very clearly a dragon. Very clearly looks like a dragon. Is it a dragon? No.
No. But Shote's a dragon.
Uh-huh. Even though it looks like a
Actually,
lizard.
I can't remember if Hiru Plant is a dragon or if it's a human.
It's a human. Kiryu Plant is a human.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Pretty whatever human that was in the past. But Freddie is looting out more forest. Not a bad play. It tends to provide at least 1 or 2 reasonable finds. And who knows, we may have a freer fight at the end. I suspect Freddie will check it out just to see what we're dealing with, because we know it is required. Probably. You could skip it maybe with an X-Death Castle clear, but not something to count on as a runner.
To answer a question in chat, so Bahamut is what then? A demon? No, Bahamut is nothing. Bahamut has no type.
Bahamut is an enemy.
Yes, I don't even think it's flying type.
Nope.
Yep, it is just a regular old enemy. Oh, and by the way, to go back to a discussion, right? You had mentioned, what type of human is the Hiryu Plant. I do believe, we should just call the Hiryu Plant Audrey. And for those of you that like Little Shop of Horrors, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh. 2 meteors and nothing from them so far. However, we'll see how that carries out, if it'll be all 4 meteors or just the 2.
All right, so we do have Freddie here checking out the Guardian Crystal, the Elder Branch spot, as you will. Fairly high HP here, but Freddie does have damage dealing capabilities. Or it could be an insta-kill.
One strong reason to always peek it, because that's another bunch of levels added to really jumpstart the party. And it's the shrine page that we knew was there.
Yep, shrine page that we knew was going to be there. Look, the thing that had to be there was there.
Ouch. Oh, wait. Immune to fire.
Okay, so question in chat. So what's the shtick to career days? Some kind of rules about character jobs? Well, it depends. So it all depends on what we're doing here. This is a 4-job draft. Okay, so the runners took turns selecting what jobs to use, but they can only ever use these 4 jobs in the run. Okay. The standard flags that we tend to use for races and for other tournaments, all jobs are available, but they're often found in shops or in chests. Same with abilities. abilities can be found in shops and chests. But because this is for job mode, you're not going to find, obviously, any jobs and chests, and you're not going to find any of Anti-Barrier World 3, and you're not going to find any of the abilities in chests either.
And anti-barriers in World 3, and immediately after that, we find the bracelet on Dry's side after he went and showed perfectly how to insta-kill Carbuncle. Carbuncle, all you have to do is wait 3 actions, set your attack to hover over the enemy, and then once it goes back to the menu, then Carbuncle has switched to his weaker form that is weak to insta-kills. In this case, Dry used Bioblade because in addition to insta-kills, it's also weak to pretty much all of the elements. So any elemental blade will also insta-kill because it's no longer heavy in that form. Any tier 3 elemental blade, bio, or holy.
I missed that hint from Sergey. Did you happen to catch it?
I did not.
Yeah, I'm sure Freddie will chicken some.
Freddie goes there.
But meanwhile, we do have Freddie pulling. This is the Bale Castle spot here from World 2. So we're going to see what this is relatively quickly. This is a ribbon.
Money! Oh, wait, no, we have a freelancer.
Yeah,
it's
so that's great.
Headgear because it's +5 to all stats. Helpful considering we're still lacking strength if we want to hit things with the freelancer. And it's immunity to pretty much every single stats effect in the game.
Indeed. So once Freddie has gotten this hint here from Bale Castle, then we'll have seen all 10, even though we both missed the first viewing of the Surgate hint. Nothing good. Artemis bow, not terrible there.
Expensive, but not necessarily bad. Break blade so far has been the big find here.
Finally finding some Phoenix Downs.
Yeah, Phoenix Downs is something runners are very happy to find as soon as they can. Because, yes, we have the Sage's Staff, but only 2 people can wield that, and so resurrecting people can be tricky.
Okay, so we have Dry heading into Kelb. Get the hint from Kelger here.
And Freddie is going back and doing the meteors that we saw Dry do earlier. Biblos absorbs water. Why? Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, so I just rewound the video here and went back. The hint from Surgate was Sandworm Bait World 2.
Okay, that's a hint. If you end up running low on World 2 checks, you might have it gives you a better idea of what you're going to find. And if we ever get a hint, say that the Desert of Shifting Sands is Path of the Void, then we'll know that we maybe should prioritize World 2 hints, or World 2 checks.
Alright, so we have Dry here pulling Greg 4 from the Bale Castle spot, which we know to be a Zonk. So kind of taking a look at the first 10 hints, right? We know Waltz Tower is Path to the Void. We know Waltz Tower has Tablet 2. Those hints may or may not be directly related. And we know Fourth Tower is Path to the Void. That's about what we got.
I mean, That could be all we need. Fork Tower could be very Path of the Void and hold 2 tablets.
Right?
Is likely? Not at all.
The alternative is that, Fork could lead to the Walls Tower key, which could lead to tablet 2.
Freddeh going for a more aggressive fight, choosing to kill first rather than waiting, however, is unable. It will take 2 Sildras. The break likely went to someone with an Aegis shield or the freelancer with the ribbon, and the fire 2 was reflected on someone with immunity to fire, so a little bit of luck, but a good fight, giving the bracelet to Freddeh. And now I believe Freddie's caught up to the checks Dry's done outside of maybe a potential Surgate shop trip. However, is up the Moor Forest check.
To answer Lily's question in chat, was Mystic Knight Dry's choice? Nope. Mystic Knight was Freddie's choice. The way this broke down, Dry picked a Summoner, Freddie picked the Red Mage and the Mystic Knight, and then Dry picked the Freelancer. And the Wayfaring Fox bringing up, this is the second time I've watched this recently. Fork Tower is Path to the Void, so you are the new Rammstein. Rammstein being a rather prominent member of the Final Fantasy V per day community, who is famous for always either being involved in some way, shape, or form in seeds where Fork Tower is required.
And we see Catastrophe at Folk with the Chocobo's check. Starting to get to tougher fights, but still shouldn't be too much of a problem. Catastrophe only does, I believe, Quicksand here, which, as we saw, is only 135 AoE. Not at the Quake or Earthshakers, which can start really posing problems to the party. And Dry gets the news. It's a Fork seed. And nothing from Boku the Chocobo.
Just a Lilith Rod.
So let's see. Checks that our runners have available. There's the Shrine page. There's anything with the sub-key. There's Odin's Spot. Hero value that we see Freddie heading to. And then I believe it's in World 1, they only have... Well, I mean, they have the library, but that's barren. They, I believe, only have the Catapult and Lonka Meteor checks left in World 1.
Correct. Moogle Waterway also, I believe, is unchecked.
Yes.
To answer chat, could either runner be described as ahead at this point? I would say no. I think we're a little bit still too early. Oh, Shope is nice. But we're a little bit too early to say, and they've pretty much done almost the exact same checks, just in slightly different orders. We're not going to get a good feel of who's ahead and who's not until some of these different checks wind up working out. Like for example, if Freddie pulls something amazing out of this, I mean, this is a spot, this Hiryu Valley is a spot that a lot of runners will put off for a good long while. So if there is something here, then Freddie might very well be ahead.
Yeah, no one's truly ahead. However, Freddie has done a couple more checks. So the main ones, he's finished Moor, which is required, and then Boko, which is not. So if Dry does Boko, then that will end up being more time given back to Freddie. Otherwise, it's time spent for not much.
Ew. Oh, the Guardian Crystals here are going to be a pain, especially without Golem.
It's
Go ahead.
only 12,000, so 3,000 each. So if you can get 2 Bahamut's off, then you'll avoid this phase. It looks like we're also able to just tank them at this point, having done checks and being at a higher level than many people are at this stage in the game.
And this Bahamut should take care of the Guardians, I think.
Yep. Did about 2,200, so unless the spot had like 1,800 or 20,000, or 18,000 or 20,000, then maybe it would take a third, but...
Here, Valley giving the big bridge key, so I would imagine we're going to see Freddeh do that immediately. Meanwhile, we have Dryzalizer and the Catapult taking on and taking out Ifrit. Let's see if this gives Dry anything good.
Looks like Freddeh decided to check out Barrier Tower, it looks like. Or
Yep.
Freddie's checking out Barrier Tower, and Dry gets the Adamantite that we knew was in World 1 somewhere.
Yep. So this really is kind of a nice inflection point here in this race. Now I think you're going to see our runners really take 2 different paths, right? I think you're going to see Dry do the Lonka Meteor that just got opened up by doing the Catapult, and then I think you're going to see him go into that Adamantite right away.
The keys to the seed, I believe, is 1, if the hints are just all resulting in 1 tablet, then it's completely missing. But we currently have what we believe is 2 hinted tablets. And so who chooses to go and check on those locations first? When does the runner decide to do Fork Tower? When does the runner decide to go and see if it's underwater walls, or if they have to check out get the Walls Tower key? Those are going to be key points in who ends up taking the lead.
Dryzalizer pulling Apocalypse at the Lonka Meteor and taking care of it very quickly. Meanwhile, Freddeh pulling the Red Dragon out of the chest. Barrier Tower. Let's see what we have here in Lonka Meteor. We have...
Nothing. I do believe... Nope, Karnak Meteor had the bracelet. I was about to say, I do believe that meant meteors were barren, but they are not.
Alright, so with that save, I would imagine, yep, we're seeing Dry chase down the Adamantite. We'll see if there's anything good here at the Soul Cannon spot. Of course, there are 2 checks here, Soul Cannon and then the vanilla Archeo Avis fight. Siren, really nice and simple. Goodbye.
Siren is weak to break, and I believe is weak to death, but only in the first form of the Siren. And we get Dry ends up getting the pyramid page for, I don't know if troubles is the right word, but for his endeavors, choices.
So now it'll be interesting to see if and when Dry goes there, because the pyramid page, as far as any non-void locations go, Pyramid will have the highest tier checks and a lot of higher tier checks. So if they're looking for, I don't know, another pair of running shoes, I don't know what, a chicken knife maybe.
Masamune is, I think, one of the best things the runners could find.
Oh, and Freddie's like, I want Odin. Because here you plant here.
Man-Eater would also be acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we have Dry pulling the Archeo spot here and pulling... Oh, Odin! Oh, but we just wished for Odin. Not quite in this way.
So 2 breakable bosses in the Adamantite makes it easy with Dry setup break, and with the running shoes, the Mystic Knight just goes again.
And Master Mart's in chat bring up a good point. I thought I saw it, and Mart's confirming. Freddie did pick up a man-eater actually in his trip up here.
Oh, so if we want to do some physical damage with the Freelancer, then that would be what we're doing. However, it looks like the Freelancer does have high-level summon, so is putting out very good damage that way.
All right, so Dry got the Waltz Tower key from the Arcuavis spot and is going to immediately turn that in because we do know that Waltz Tower is Path to the Void.
But we don't know which one.
Right. So if this is a Zonk, we know by definition that Underwater Waltz has Tablet 2. If this is a key item, we still know by definition that Underwater Waltz has Tablet 2. But we're also not going to know if the key item that is given here is actually needed or not. So we'll see what happens here. We have Freddie taking out Audrey here at the top of Barrier Tower for nothing.
With that find of the Waltz Tower key, that's the first real advantage amongst the runners so far. If we get an unhinted tablet in, say, the big bridge or something, that'd be, for Freddie, that would be significant advantage as well.
All right, so what do we get here? We get... Here you call
unknown. But, well, we get, as you said, knowledge of where Tablet 2 is, and the potential chain that may lead to another tablet or not.
Yep, so we do know by definition, by default, that Underwater Waltz will have Tablet 2. So we do hard know the location of one tablet, and we do know that Fork is going to either have a tablet or lead to at least one other tablet.
With the anti-barrier being in World 3, there's a distinct possibility that it's just sitting in Fork, and that leads to one of 3 checks in Extet's Castle potentially being the tablet or the chain.
All right, so Dry is immediately going to turn in this Here You Call by going to the Ziza Fleet. And we're going to, well, maybe we find out if the game is being cute or not. We'll see what we get here.
But yeah, speaking of dragons, the shoat that Dry fought, that's a dragon. Leviathan, I believe, also a dragon.
And the big bridge gives a dancing dagger.
So, check-wise, World 2, all that's left is Moogle Waterway and this Zeza Fleet check. Check 3, we've got Grind Page, Pyramid Page, Fork, and Underwater Waltz, and Odin. So, World 1, we have nothing available to the runners that has not been checked by one of them. What this means is pretty shortly we should be finding our runners head to World 3, because that's where the majority of checks left for runners are.
And at the Here You Call, we have Craig.
Vanilla.
How vanilla?
Something that makes you wish you could get... Makes you maybe hope you could get lucky with a Doomax. Otherwise, all you have to do is keep an eye on values and attempt to maybe get it to about 40% of Gilgamesh's health, and then attempt to burn the last bit. It's tight, but might be doable with our high-powered summons.
And it looks like we're gonna have Freddie go check out Fork Tower.
Woo! I think.
We'll find out if it's a woo or not.
But yeah, we see that there's about 8 that end up healing 8,000 to both of them, so all that hard early work is gone. And we also do see Dry switching to the Doomax on the Freelancer in an attempt to get an insta-kill proc on Gilgamesh 3.
Who is doomable. So if Doom happens to proc, Doom will hit.
All right. Ooh.
This fight is getting rather annoying here for Dry.
Was it a vampire that took out Lena, or just like something else from Enkidu?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Okay.
Well, but that.
All right.
But, oh boy.
Sildra.
Will Dry clutch out a kill here? Gets one piece. Nope.
Oh, so close, but that's a rough spot to wipe at. It takes a fair amount of time to get to that fight in the first place. Looks like Dry is set up and is going to be committing to a Dumax kill method.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I suspect if he starts doing too much damage, he'll cast a heal or two at Gilgamesh's way.
Alright, so we have Freddeh up here. Oh, no, we gotta go up the other tower. That's right.
But it is important to know to chase the Walls Tower keychain from the Adamantite, because it's been a long chain so far. You kind of need to know if it had value or not, because it's an important piece of information to help you. Help you get a feel for where you are in the seed potentially against your opponent.
So something big that Freddeh just picked up here from Fork Tower is the magic lamp.
That's useful. Ouroboros. If those start punching, could prove really rough, with only 2 people alive. But with that split HP and Summoner, we are in a very good situation to defeat them and see who's in the second. First, okay. And Dry saved up his RNG, getting an immediate Doom proc on his second try with the fight.
Alright, so let's see here.
Nothing. So that means we're back to only knowing two paths. Steam should be first. So it could be that. That's 2 checks locked behind that. Either one could hold the tablet.
And Rama
is breakable, which Rama might not be breakable, might only be doomable and X-zonable.
Bringing up my handy-dandy little chart here, it says that Rama is yet doomable, not break.
Yep. So, here's the tough fight.
Of course, with Carbuncle up now, we're going to get Rama healing himself with every bolt he casts. So this is not going to be an easy one for Freddeh to take out.
Do not reflect armor, please. Yep. Ooh. Only 260 from the Mystic Knight. That does not appear to be a strong sword equipped on that one.
No. Lily in chat bringing up, just use the magic lamp.
Yeah. At this point, that's that's the best strat, and it appears to be what Freddeh has gone. And we have mute.
Oh no! Oh
Which is
no!
going to happen first, the timer or the kill?
Oh no!
We do have Mute Blade. I know Freddeh has the Staff of Judgment, but that may be from Fork. It's a free fight, and even if you don't get through before the timer goes off, if you are quick with your menuing, you will be able to take the item you would get from here and use the warp shard to escape before the game over happens. There are some cases where it's just not possible to kill the boss before 7 minutes.
And a Zonk, so we know the steamship key is the path. But we also get a Ragnarok for our troubles, so that's nice.
So
I might consider, for a fight like this, I might consider coming back here when and if we find Golem, because I'm pretty sure we have a power staff. So I would power staff the omniscient, and then just use Golem to parry the hits. Use a judgment staff to dispel omniscient, and then just go to town.
You'd have to Mute Blade before judgment staff, because even if berserked, the judgment staff will also dispel the berserk.
That's right.
Omniscient is weak to air, and we do have Sildra, so that is some solid damage. Once you have the shell removed, it'll go. So the main thing is, Dry does not have the judgment staff, it appears, which is simply unfortunate.
Oh, and Dry using the Beast Killer Whip to proc a Paralyze against Omniscient.
Doesn't necessarily last too long, but it prevents those reset ineffective counterattacks, which can save you animation time.
Yeah, I just kind of timed it. It looks like it goes 3 seconds per reset ineffective. That's a 3-second timed loss, I suppose.
And remember, this is 48,000 HP.
Good God. Ugh. This is just such an annoying fight down here.
The good news, both runners have to do it. Or is that bad news?
I suppose it depends on who you ask. If you ask the runners, it's bad news. If you ask the viewers, well, I'm pretty sure the viewers love this stuff. I'm just glad it's not me doing this.
I mean, if we had a spot that, if we had a seed with an impossible omniscient, say we only drafted physical, and technically you could use mute knives and stuff, but no one's doing this, this would be the spot you'd be happy to see omniscient, because you could just sit here till about 15 seconds left and then start the fight. You're committing 7 minutes to getting the key item, but as we can see, we're already halfway through the time while doing the fight. So the question will be, does Dry get through? If he doesn't, does he manage to warp shard out? And if he does get through, how much time does he end up saving overall?
And we have Tablet 4 from the steamship. So it looks like Tablet 3 is completely unhinted.
So far. We know that Trench Page is in World 2, which at this point is either Extheth's Castle or is in Moogle Waterway. I believe neither runner has done that. So if you want to start looking for more guidance, the runners do have a good guess as to where to start. Looks like
we do have Freddeh looting Karnak Castle here, which can have some high-level loot.
Looks like Dry is out of MP to be casting Sildra, so has switched to Rod Breaking.
And there's your Masamune.
Was it in a trap chest or just
Trap
here?
chest. It was in a trap chest in here.
Very strong find either way.
So the
allows
big thing,
you to haste the entire party for the final fight.
Yep. So the big thing with the Masamune is it gives the user the first turn, and if you use the Masamune as an item,
that's a very nice. When I do these trap chests, I don't get much. When Freddeh does it, he gets Redding Shoes and Masamune.
Yeah. But anyways, when the Masamune, when used as an item, will cast haste upon the target. Oh.
Triggered the reset of Omniscient.
Oh no. Oh no.
That also resets the timer, so we're back to 6.5 minutes before.
Well, that's just painful.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's just a tablet, not a chain. It won't lead to multiple tablets, just like Fork apparently did not lead to multiple tablets. But, so you can always come back a little later if you have a better solution, or when you are in go mode, just come back then.
So it looks like Freddeh is going to go up the catapult to find his adamantite, then do Lonka Meteor to find nothing. I would imagine he will chase the adamantite shortly thereafter.
To find the Wall's Tower key, to find the Hero Call, to find nothing.
Right, so let's see what winds up happening here. Dry is doing some shopping. He must have seen something here he wanted.
Could be ethers, elixirs, air knives are the things I can think of.
Or nope, maybe the stuff you wanted is in Ruger. Oh, wizard staffs. Yep, that'll do.
Yep. More expensive than an air knife, but you definitely want to be doing boosted damage of your Sildra. Judgment Staff is the only other item that could help Dry, because I believe this spell does not dispel mute. And Ifrit absorbs holy.
Alright, Dry going back down. Of course, we know that there is a Staff of Judgment up Fork Tower. So if Dry had done Fork first, then that Judgment Staff makes life a heck of a lot easier. Freddeh getting the adamantite, gonna go check Lonka Meteor for the Zonk.
The combination of levels in the Staff of Judgment, if you're set up, I believe, I'm not certain if the 2500 was with the Wizard Rod or not, but if it was, then you'll be doing 5000 once the shell is dispelled, and that's only 10 Sildras at that point, which is significantly faster.
Alright, so Dry headed back in.
Very much showing that Apocalypse does not like bio. Let's see how much the summoner deals now. Okay, so yeah, the 2500 was with the boosted, but now the Ren Mage will also be doing boosted summon damage.
Plus, you have the Mystic Knight being like, I'm helping!
Let's see. 2500 from the summoner, 2500 from the Red Mage, so it's a 48,000, so it's about, it'll probably be about 8 or 9 silvers each if we have the MP for that.
Let's see. I'll figure that out in a second, I think.
And then you'll go and do about 500 each Mystic Knight swing, which should probably end up being 4,000 to 7,000 by the end, which might drop it to only 8 each.
So it looks like Freddeh is now going to go pull Underwater Waltz.
So we'll see if his setup allows for a easier fight. More running shoes, ability to haste the full party, and the Staff of Judgment are the primary advantages. Along with a higher level.
It seems like Dry is doing pretty well here in his second attempt. All right, Freddeh pulling our Rug Mage. He's like, I don't remember giving her. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I believe that's the Mystic Knight with Flare and the Freelancer with Mute, which would likely want a little different, potentially, just because there's a higher strength, there's better weapons for the Freelancer than the Mystic Knight, namely the Ragnarok.
So, Freddeh not... Freddie's going to need to reapply that mute.
At some point. It does last a while, so if you're really comfortable with the fight, you might know when it needs to be reapplied, but... Then there's using...
Here comes the Judgment Staff. There we go. All right.
Mute's still on. This should be about 3,600.
And this silver is going to be big.
7,000, I believe.
Yep.
6,600 versus 2,600. As long as the mute stays on, then this fight should be over soon.
And we have Dry, as you can see, about 2.5 minutes ahead in the fight.
Now what?
So I think this might be either the last or next to last Sildra, that MP-wise here for Dry. This omniscient is absolutely bludgeoned here on Freddie's side. Meanwhile, we have Dry kind of, chip damage here and there. Jeez, instinct. They both died at the same time. That's like they both pick up tablet 2 side by side. So Freddie saved roughly 2.5 minutes over Dry there. All right, so now Freddie's like, what now? I need to go find tablet 3, and I have no idea where it is. Dry, I would think now Dry's going to go to Moore, because Dry does know Fork is Path to Void, and he does have the Elder Branch, and he is going to Moore. Yep. Yeah, so, this is being mentioned in chat a couple of times. Freddie certainly has the edge. He certainly has the lead at this point. But that could all vanish if Dry stumbles onto that tablet 3 first.
At this point, though, it is a very solid lead. The entirety of the Fork power chain versus is a solid 10-minute advantage there. Yes, some amount of time will be made up when Freddie's done this. However, Freddie's also done a significant amount of the zonks that are left that Dry could easily stumble into them. So it could happen, but it'll take Dry choosing the right path next.
So, it's funny. I didn't pay attention to every chest that Freddie opened here in Moor Forest, but Moor Forest was very much the explorer's guide to beating Omniscient. Golem Summon, Mage Masher, Power Staff.
Golem Summon's the big find for this party, but
And Freddie shoots away Odin.
And with this Walls Tower key, yes, you've gotten the tablet, but it does act as a pseudo hint that if you're out of ideas, this is a chain to chase. Because it could have been the hinted Path to the Void.
Well, we got the pyramid page, right, from the Soul Cannon, so...
Yep, Pyramid Page, Shrine Page, Odin Spot, and Moogle Waterway are, I believe, the 4 paths available to our runners.
I mean, technically they still have the Ifrit spot, right? But we know that we had a hint that libraries are barren. So
we will not expect runners to go there ever.
Dryzalizer taking down, I forget what was it, Moor Forest, but it was rather easy. And I would imagine we're going to have Dry go right to Fork Tower.
It was the Tyrannosaurus, so 1 Phoenix down, or 2 if you're unlucky, or 3 if you're very unlucky, and so on, and it's done. Or I believe Fire 3 Spellblade or Holy Spellblade would also work.
Freddie is going to go run down the Here You Call, which, makes sense, right? It would absolutely make sense. Something that would be really handy to have that I haven't seen any of in this seed is gold hairpins.
Gold hairpins would certainly be of use. With summons, the one thing you can say about them is they do cost a lot. If you spam, say, if you have to use 10 of them, that's going to be a lot of MP required.
I think Freddie is remembering that he just now remembering, oh, I didn't do Surgate. And there's the brake blade.
very much makes you happy to come back here to find that. Freddeh may have had Shoat for much of those bosses, but Breakblade is simply more accurate, period. Because it's tied to the accuracy of your attack as opposed to the accuracy of Shoat and magic.
So it'll be interesting to see what Dry does here in Fork, because we do have Magic Lamp and we do have Rama. We've seen Dry do Max strats before. Will we try to do Max strats again here to the Rama we're about to see, or is he going to do just the Magic Lamp to True Edge?
Yeah, Rama is certainly the boss that you have to watch out for. Carbuncle was a very good choice of Freddeh because those Bolt 3s are going to come out very painfully. So, from here, is it the Hiru Valley? Nope, we are going to Moogle Waterway at the 1 hour and 15 minute mark. It's a place that has often been checked significantly sooner for many runners, but with how the seat's gone, hasn't gotten around to it. And from what we know is the highest probability, well, it's about a 1 in 4 overall chance of this being the trench page.
It could be the Sandworm Bait, because we know that those are both still out in World 2. We'll see.
Second ribbon, that's simply money at this point, but first ribbon was a nice find when we got it.
Oh, it's Atmos.
That's one of the bosses you would like to put to sleep. But at this state and our levels, and the fact that someone's already dead, murder's a good choice.
I mean, in this setting, murder is always a good choice.
I mean, murder is always a choice. I don't know, there's some bosses that not murder is the choice you would want. But we get nothing, which means the anti-barrier in World 3 is likely our next form of progression, with it being in either Shrine, Odin, or Pyramid locations. Or we end up getting the Falls page in one of those. Or Mirage Radar. But
yeah, I mean, it kind of has to be, right? Because we're out of available World 1 or World 2 checks at this point. All right, so we do have Dry. All right, so I think Dry took out Rama.
it took out Proboros and got the steamship key. Still has Rama to go.
Yeah, we know this is possible. We do know that Dry sometimes suffers from a little bit of lag and stutter, so. His ISP out in Hawaii must be a little unreliable. But then again, living in Hawaii, unstable ISP, I mean,
Nope. That break blade will not help you. Freddeh has an even better setup to attempt a skip, but that was a very fast summon upon damage. But those soldiers are really starting to do damage for Freddeh. And the break... Nope. Enkidu is also not weak to break. Oh, so we're still on the lamp, so I suspect if we end up going to the trench, Freddeh will reset, or will go and take the chance to reset the lamp set. Whack. Whack. Oh. If I were Freddeh, I believe I would check the Odin throne next. I believe that's the easiest and quickest of the World 3 checks, so that's where I would go. However, Shrine and Pyramid are both good options. Our runners at this point are pretty strong. We have Breakblade. We have a lamp. It's very unlikely that there's much more you need to complete the seed. So looting, I suspect a little bit of cutback on looting will occur soon.
All right, so where's Freddeh going to go now? He's got a few options available to him. He's going to go where? Where are you going, Freddeh? You're going to...
You've done this, Freddeh.
He's going to the waterfall to reboot the magic lamp.
That works.
Eventually.
And then is using the airship to figure out, how do I get there?
Yep, exactly.
Because it's not often you end up doing that in a seed.
No, it's not often really at all. So basically what you do is you go through the tool pass, just like, you would go to take out the antlion spot, but then you keep going a good long while. Nope. You have to go through the tool pass. There you go. Nope. No, you can go that way. You gotta go that way.
I don't believe you.
No, is it up? Or is it north of Tool? I think north of Tool. Yeah, there you go. There we go.
Yeah. Nope. Through this pass.
There we go.
But we also get the rarely seen magic lamp check, and because I believe this is in the vanilla game where you get the magic lamp,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Kodachi. I believe you have to do it one more time. Yep. And there Freddeh goes back to now the lamp's restored. The other location you can do that, I believe, is in Trench. As you head past the town to the boss, there's a little tiny corner that you can refill the lamp at.
Yep. All right, so Freddeh going to the Odin spot first. That is one of 3 locations, I believe, that he has open, that he hasn't checked. All right, the Odin spot, the pyramid page, and the shrine page.
Yep. I think if you're not looting, I think with no loot, pyramid might be slightly faster than shrine, but if you're not looting either way, it's tight. It's close.
Yeah.
If you are doing a full loot, I believe pyramid's a little slower just due to how many chests there are.
Agreed. Although if you're doing a full...
Pick up that random chest, even though it's only a tier 2 and not very likely to have value. In the last race, it had haste 2 for the runners. So...
Although, X magic was finally learned, and he immediately slaps it on a summoner with running shoes. Oh my, Lena's going to be doing a lot of damage.
With how early Soda was, despite the immediate Leviathan, we really have not gotten to see much of it, because Sildra is much easier to get the extra 50% boost. Gilgamesh 2. Mute Spellblade, anyone? Flare on that one.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit annoying, but otherwise should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, we do have Red Mage and Freelancer, can always Staff of Judgment immediately after.
Great Jew, as you can see, can hit kind of hard here, but he's almost dead.
More Sildras!
And goodbye.
And you can see clearly how Omniscient's weakness to air made the Sildras do so much more damage.
Oh, yeah. All right, so what do we have here from the Odin spot? We have...
Third.
Okay.
Okay. It really was the right place to go to.
And Freddeh at 124.15 is in go mode. So I would imagine we are going to see him rush the void just about immediately. Now he's picking up elixirs. I'm pretty sure Lix had elixirs.
We don't know what Dry's been up to. However, it wouldn't surprise me necessarily to see Dry make a dive at Odin. However, we don't know what choices he'll make at this point, and what choices he's made.
To answer a question in chat, what was that place called? I'm assuming you mean the place where Freddeh got the Tablet 3. So it's technically the basement of Bale Castle, but we just call it the Odin spot because in vanilla, that's where you get the Odin summon from fighting the Odin underneath Bale Castle. So yeah, it's the Odin spot or basement of Bale Castle. Freddeh buying all of the elixirs after that being... So if you missed out on race 1, it was an extraordinarily tight race. Freddeh and Dryzalizer were both fighting Neo-Exdeath at the same time, but one of Freddie's big issues was that he had no healing. And for this particular race, he is definitely going back to purchase elixirs. All right, so we have Freddeh into the void. Let's see how much looting that Freddeh is actually going to do here in the void. But we do know that the upcoming Neo-Exdeath fight, the Neo-Exdeath fight shouldn't be too bad because we have ways to kill the back part and we have ways to kill the Almagest part, which is good. Tree Exdeath might actually be more of a problem.
But with the full haste on party and how strong we are, Flare Spellblade, we have a Man-Eater, there are plenty of ways to really push damage on it. Because the tree is a human, and the armored regular Exdeath is not a human.
I still don't know how that one works. One's a tree. One is clearly humanoid.
I mean,
I don't.
One is a tree made up of human souls. I don't know what X-Death Armored is.
All right, so Void Boss number 1.
The most annoying to wipe to. Could be Go-Go.
Oh, ow. It's Minotaur's.
We have 2 sets of running shoes.
Yes,
and
but
we
he
have
does
a lot
that.
of Phoenix Downs.
Yeah, we don't have a magic or a good Mirage vest, and we have no good way to put blink status on the party. This is going to hurt.
But also, would not hate pasting the party with the Masamune, but I believe the Freelancer is the primary source of damage, so with the running shoes already being pasted, people dying might not be worth the time to keep up based on the party. Time versus safety.
Ferris taking a nap, Kryl taking a nap.
Time to start Phoenix Downing.
Yep, we only have 41 of them. That might be enough. And now the other 2 go down. Yay! More Phoenix Downs. Yum yum. Uh-oh. Smack.
Alright, you have the 2 hasted people alive. Do not swing sword. And this is where having both sets of running shoes is proving very, very good. Auto haste on resurrection.
Clutch block there from the Mystic Knight. Of course, red mage being, well, a red mage. Smack.
Choosing to push the damage, getting close. But also, I believe using the items does not trigger the counters the same way as a direct swing. Could be wrong on that, though, and it's just RNG. Only the magic of power! Or of strength!
See,
Well,
it's
people
power.
are getting levels.
Smack. Alright, so Void Boss 1, dead.
That, I believe, was probably the most threatening boss left. Stalkers is, I think, the only other boss we would not be happy to see. Like, there are bosses we'd be more happy to see, anything shoutable. Odin would be the big thing to look for. That air knife is a good find, if you don't have 3 wizard rods.
To answer Mark's enchant, no, we have not yet seen Shiva. Titan would be annoying. He would hit hard. Timmy would be annoying because he's not breakable.
But we have Dispel, so that's good.
That's true.
Mirror Beam, we have not Fire 3. But Fire 2 will do some good damage anyways.
Okay, and
we're back with Drive in Hiru Valley. I'm going to assume at this point that Tablet 4 has been acquired by Drive.
So I'm looking at his tracker. Tablet 4 is marked. Let's see. We have the Pyramid page, the Shrine page, Walls Tower key, Steamship key, Sub key, Elder Branch, Hear You, Call, and the Bracelet. And as you can see, he's currently fighting the Guardian Crystals up at Hear You Valley. So he has not yet done the Odin spot.
So it looks like Dry might have gone and taken a couple of the potential chains that and traps that were lying around that we saw Freddeh take earlier. But we also see 2 running shoes and a Masamune, so did do the trap chest on the way through Karnak Escape.
Okay, Freddeh has taken care of Void Boss 2 and is on his way to Void Boss 3.
Dry is going for a more single target approach. Safer, however, at this location, a pair of Bahamut's works. We'll see how much damage Leviathan does. Might have just been removing the water absorbing to finish off with.
And speaking of annoying,
something that you might sleep Spellblade for.
Ooh, Freddeh never found a shoat. That's interesting.
Freddeh did find
I'm sorry,
shoat.
Golem,
okay. Looks like we're just going to go the guessing game method, and we'll just be trying our luck. If we have some ways to be immune to the Blaze counterattacks, then you might see a summon or 2, but otherwise...
Freddeh using the X magic ability well to cure up his party a little bit with some Cure 2s.
Oh, and that would be the big bridge from Hiryu Valley leading to the big bridge in the valley that fight for Dry. And now we see Freddeh setting up Sleep Spellblade, so
Beautiful.
That'll help out.
Yep, so once Freddeh finds the Stalker, puts the Stalker to Charm would be bad game.
It's fine. It's not like those Leviathan in your party or anything, right?
Right, never.
Do they cast spells at your party, or is it mostly just swinging in FF5?
I think it's mostly just swinging.
Because I know in 4, mages can do whatever armed. If you've never seen a Meteor sent at your party, you've definitely not experienced charm.
You do not know fear until Rydia casts Meteor at you. And it's like, oh no, what did I ever do to you? No. So Dry heading up the barrier tower.
Using Sleep Spellblade and alternating with the Flare to keep it in place works very nicely. It wakes up the Flare and then gets put back to sleep, and then it wakes up and then it's back to sleep.
I was just gonna say Stalker's just about done too, but there we go. Bye.
Lots of XP because it gives like quadruple XP.
This has been an annoying void. This really has been.
Miragene was fine. Oh, that was just for the save point. How many elixirs do we have? Was the Stalkers needed? That's fine.
Says the one who is famous for going through the entire void without saving. Oh, at
Hey,
least
my
here's...
last match, one of my matches against Freddie, he skipped the save point while I took it. I'm not
Oh,
the only one who skipped it, but this is a nice, easy boss to fight.
Yep.
Change of pace.
And Dry is like, why couldn't I find Odin? Dry looking for something in his inventory. The man-eater. There we go. Yes. Yes, the Kiryu plant is considered humanoid, and thus the man-eater will always do crit damage. All right, so what do we have here in at the Helicarnassus spot? We have Karlabos.
The not breakable version, but very weak to lightning.
And of course, we don't have Bolt 3 magic.
Any Thunder Rods? It'll still do big silver damage.
Alradris has a Karlabos emote. That is wonderful. That is fantastic.
But Karlabos is not a scary fight, so would not be surprised. Wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see just a heal and move on, but if you're worried about the Quintania fight, then you definitely go back and save. Depends on how we're feeling. Freddie looks pretty strong. Can't imagine too many fights that would prove traumatic.
Well, Alradris, we're sad. We are also sad that you missed the sign up for this tournament. We do usually run 2 tournaments a year. So we'll probably be running another one in the next couple of months. So make sure that you are part of the Discord, and we make sure that we ping everybody.
Bolt 2 Spellblade may not be quad 9s, but let's see where Dry goes from here. I believe at this point he is down to the same which 3 location question. Oh, nope, still has Tool Pass.
Well, at least we know the Tool Pass is not going to send Dry on a hunt.
Yep. And if he's doing Tool Pass, I believe Odin is the next logical play for Dry, so he'll be heading to the Void later. Just, unfortunately, a significant disadvantage. And our second to last bosses... Doomable.
And we don't have Doom.
Well, there's Doomsicle. Oh, I don't think it's heavy, so you can Ice 3 Spellblade. That works.
Crunch.
50,000 HP, gone.
Gone in the blink of an eye. All right, so Freddie is now up to the up to the last part of the game where he will face a Tree X Death and a Neo X Death.
And looking at our MP numbers and our setup, we're probably pretty well set up and can just head on straight through, no need to think. I'd feel pretty confident with this party.
Yeah, agreed. This shouldn't... I mean, it's not going to be an easy fight, but it's not... I mean, it's a pretty safe fight.
The one thing I feel that can go wrong at this point... Chicken knife. The one thing at this point that could go wrong in my mind is a Grand Cross. Will be interesting to see if Freddie has a Beast Killer, if he'll switch the Freelancer to attempt Grand Cross duty and that Phoenix, even if we didn't have Elixirs, now we have a way of restoring MP. Just resurrect a dead person with
that. Yeah,
MP.
that made it even safer. No, but My concern actually isn't that. My concern is that you do enough damage to Tad, right, the tree form, but the timing works out right that Tree X Death hits you with a meteor at the very wrong moment.
Meteor could definitely happen, however, 18,000 we're very strong setup, and it's unlikely it could set you into recovery mode, but I don't think it'll force a wipe just from one meteor alone, or even two, especially with Phoenix.
Ooh, X Magic Armor. This is very nice strats here from Freddeh.
With no golem, that is the next best thing you do is half your damage. No golem, no Mirage Vest. Although you wouldn't want to be refreshing a Mirage Vest with your Mystic Knight. I'm only one person with X Magic, however. So the Red Mage has Summon, the Summon has X Magic, and I believe we just have the two Mystic Knights as Mystic Knights.
Yep.
Mystic Knight has Summon as well, so we'll be able to help out with some Sildras once we get past the tree.
Gonna change out the Mass Immune for the Ragnarok and do Spellblade Ragnarok, which is actually pretty nice damage.
Should be about 5,000 to 6,000. And then all of the setup goes away on one person.
Ew. That's annoying.
Not running shoes, so would have to switch back to the Masamune, losing the Flare Spellblade to get the haste back on them.
We do have Dryzalizer pulling Greg 2 here at the Odin spot, so Dryzalizer will soon have his tablet 3.
Moving the Masamune higher in the inventory in case you have to swap again.
Mm-hmm. And Greg 2 into phase 2, but has been muted.
It still doesn't seem to prevent him from talking a lot.
Nah, he's a talkative chap.
Not even mute status effect can stop him.
I mean, if you think about it, nothing really stopped him except for, X-Death sending him to the void.
Well, then he just comes back at Necrophobia and talks some more. But that'll be tablet 3 for Dry, and he is now in go mode at 140, which I believe is about 20 minutes behind.
So I think this is probably the same thing that Freddeh did. Dryzalizer probably heading over to Licks to pick up some elixirs.
And then go to the void. Should be getting close to the end of 3 X Death and moving on shortly, so wouldn't be surprised to see holier Meteos. One dead, 2 dead because the Mystic Knight got hit twice.
So Dry only picking up 1 elixir, not selling off any excess stuff, not saving. Unless maybe he did and I missed it.
Could have saved in World 1 as well. Lots of time to save, but yeah. I was paying attention to Freddie's recovery, and we're in the void form, so only 2 hasted people, but should be fine. You get the Mystic Knight with Breakblade, you get the you have the Freelancer rehaste, and you go in, check the lamp next time with the summon nurse. If you really want to push damage, you chuck it to the lamp with the red mage will the summoner proceeds to continue to X magic.
Alright, here we go. Good old Ned, Neo X Death. And we are joined in chat by a user called The Void. Try looting The Void for its contents. And is about to pull boss 1, which is
A Minotaur.
Uh-oh.
And on Freddie's side, we have one of the best songs in Final Fantasy V.
Freddeh doing magic lamp stuffs while preparing to break blade the Almagest part.
Going the safe option of having the running shoes person set up break blade rather than equipping the Masamune to haste people first. Wants to get rid of. Ends up being at a low enough health to get Shell on the Mystic Knight, which isn't actually helpful because we're getting rid of Almagest and the magic part, but is neat.
Alright, so now we're down to 2 parts here, and now it's just summon Sildra, attack, and just give all the HP damage you can.
With a side of making sure you go and bridge the 5,000 HP gap. We have white magic scan, so if you're ever worried, you could X magic scan.
Yes, you could. Dry's still battling with the Minotaur.
2 running shoes, Masamune. It can go sideways, but as long as you're not too aggressive, you will be fine.
Clutch block there by the Mystic Knight for Dry. A little bit of X-Magic Shiva action here going on for Freddeh. Dry's main damage dealer, Kryl, cannot stay awake.
7,000 a round of X magics. That's about 7 rounds or so, with a little extra help from the others. So should be getting through. Might even have a high enough damage output to just fade the Grand Cross chance entirely.
And there's hope.
With that, we're through.
Dry continuing into the void. Freddeh, meanwhile, slow, I shouldn't say slow, but nice and steadily taking down Neo X Death.
Yeah, this is certainly not a slow method. It's not the fastest possible, but I mean, it probably is for this party. But it is certainly a much faster method than many have occurred. Which is the nature of these job choices. And we'll see shortly. It does look like we skipped at least one Grand Cross. Nope, one page left. Come on.
This might actually do it here, this double.
This should
Still
do it
good.
unless you really didn't split your damage well.
Yeah, because this is going to be, what, 6,500 damage here. This should do it.
Yeah, I heard the noise, so
There we go.
GG's ready.
All right, everybody, get your GGs out in the chat. Freddeh has finished in first place in this race with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 40 seconds. GG to Freddeh, who forces a Game 3 in this series. The winner
More
of Game
career day, yay!
Yay! The winner of Game 3 of this series will move on to the grand final to face Judge Joe.
Hi.
And Dryzalizer acknowledging Freddie's finish. So Dryzalizer does go. The bad news for him.
So
Right.
we'll see if Dry ends up fully finishing out the void or ends up stopping at some point. Either choice is definitely fine. Hey, there's the Phoenix Tower code. Now we just need the Mirage radar.
And with that ding, we are joined by tonight's winner, Freddeh. Freddeh, GG, well played.
Hello, GG's. I seem to be a decent amount ahead.
Yeah, so I think a lot of that, not all of it, but a lot of it comes to Dry did Sunken Walls first.
Okay.
And got down there, and with about a minute left to go in the fight, his mute wore off. And
oh no.
Yep,
So he spent a lot of time on Omni.
Yeah, so he actually then, about a couple of minutes into, I mean, it was his first attempt, but a couple minutes into the reset, he's like, nah, he backed out, he went out and purchased a couple of things, and then finally, you guys actually beat Omniscient almost frame for frame.
But had he already done Fork at that point?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll do it. I'm like, how early did he find the Odin spot tablet?
He found the last tablet about 20 minutes after you.
Oh, okay. So he didn't. Okay.
There was a period where he was in Fork that we lost connection, so we aren't certain what happened at the end of Fork and where he went from there, but did not result in anything that you did not find. The big other part of the Omniscient is went into the second try, was down to 250 on the timer when he finished, or 230, and you were down to 5 minutes, so about a 2.5 minute time save thanks to the Judgment staff primarily.
Oh, the Judgment staff made that nice fight. I was a little worried about my mute wearing off. I'm like, I don't think mute wears off for a long time, and I'm doing like 6,000 damage with Sildrez now. So probably fine.
We were definitely nervous about how long you how long you were waiting, but it worked out, so
I
very
decided it was
fast.
close enough to being over, and his regular attacks kept getting muted, so I'm like, okay, his regular attacks kept getting muted, so I'm like, okay, I'm sure it'll be fine. Famous last words.
So something I wanted to bring up to you. How did you feel about your only magic, your third level, right? Bolt 3, Ice 3, Fire 3. Your only upper level magic sword being found in one of your first checks, because neither one of you found Bolt 3, neither one of you found Fire 3, and Ice 3 was in Tycoon.
Yeah. Oh, there was just a whole host of things in weird places that seed. Holy goodness. There's a bard's clothes in Fork Tower, meanwhile two pairs of running shoes in low tier spots. I guess Karnak Escape is decent. Still.
Where was that first pair, Freddie? I forget.
I don't even remember. It was in a silly place.
North Mountain.
North
Oh yeah,
Mountain.
North
Yeah.
Mountain.
Yeah, I almost skipped. Sometimes I skip chests.
I know, but I was hurting for money that scene once.
And then I think, what was it, Bahamut and Medio in the same shop.
Yeah, that was also pretty funny. I was like, oh, Medium, I wish I could. Oh, wait, that's Bahamut. Sure, why not? Where did Golan end up being? Did I just skip it in a shop somewhere?
I found it somewhere, but I don't remember where.
Where did you find it, Dry? It was...
I skipped a few things, but not like a ton this scene.
It
It
was.
was-
I think it was a treasure somewhere, though.
Yeah, it was a treasure somewhere, and it was later in your traversing, Dry.
Yeah, it
I-
took a while before I had it. Yep.
Yeah. I
Did you ever
forget
do
exactly.
like Pyramid or something?
No.
I did everything but Pyramid and Shrine.
I didn't do either of those either. Yeah, it was in a weird, kind of a weird spot too. Maybe.
I don't think I skipped any chests. So I like the only chests I skipped were early on, and it was like the one chest south before Pirate Cave and like 2 right chests in Tycoon Castle.
No, it certainly wasn't there. Wasn't
Yeah, I'm
Barrier.
having trouble remembering much about this seed. Things didn't go well for me, including a power outage.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no!
But I felt like, that's not what affected. That didn't really affect the race. It didn't slow me down too much, but because things weren't going well before the power outage, and then it went okay, sort of after or during and after, but it was too late to catch up, I think.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm sure I don't really have to tell you, but the big issue was the Omni fight and the super late reset when it looked like you were going to take him down.
Yep, I was thinking that I might be able to squeak through, and it didn't happen. And then, at the beginning of the fight, I was like, I should probably reset out of this and do it later, or change my setup. And I didn't, and so I lost a bunch of time on that for sure.
Meanwhile, I did Fork before hour into the seed and had the Judgment Staff, so it was pretty easy.
I loved when that Judgment Staff showed up. I was like, yep, should have routed the other. Should have gone to Fork first, and to the forest first, and all that. What was the super easy forest boss?
Oh, it was Tyrannosaur. I did that right away too. Like that was like one of my.
Yeah.
I think I did that after Bal Castle, basically. Or did I do it before Bal Castle? I might have done it before. I think I did it before Bal Castle. I did like the usual early stuff into Waltz, the Waltz Meteor, Waltz Castle, and then I did. I think I went straight to. I think I did Moor Forest right after that, actually, because I had the branch, and then I got the hint that it was Fork Tower Path of the Void. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just go do this and see what the boss is. At the very least, I needed loot anyway. I was hurting on money, so I did it. I'm like, well, let's see what the boss is. Maybe it's something not too bad. And I'm like, oh, it's literally free. Cool. So I did that. Got a bunch of XP.
The seed did sort of let us go through quickly if we followed the hints. I held out for the Waltz Tower key because I was thinking it was Waltz Tower World 1. Faded the...
Yeah.
Well, you faded Underwater Waltz for a while too, but I could have gone to the forest a lot earlier, that's for sure.
Yeah, once I saw it was a Fork seed, I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother with Sunken Waltz until I can at least do Fork, so... Because that Sunken Waltz just has so much, and if there's a bad boss there, it's gonna be a long fight. So I figured I'm gonna have to level a bunch anyway, so let's just start clearing and see if I can't find Mirage or Trench Page. Literally didn't find any of the useful things. Never found Anti-Barrier that was hinted, never found Trench Page that was hinted, never saw Moogle Suit that was hinted.
Yep, I never saw any of those things either. Yeah, the reason I went to Sunken Walls is because I was hoping it would be like an instant killable boss or something with all that HP. It's a pretty quick check, but that definitely did not
Mhm.
pay off. In fact, it burned me pretty bad to stick with it.
Yeah, yeah. It was. Did you end up clearing out Karnak as well?
Yes.
As shout outs to the running shoes plus Masamune, both in like 2 consecutive checks.
Yeah, that was
Almost.
amazing. Karnak escape, just in general, the loot that we found, random stuff in good places was solid. Like I didn't really feel like I needed anything after a while.
Yeah,
Going into the end, I wasn't really looking for anything. The lamp was in Fork Tower.
yeah, that was nice. I actually ended up using like that. The magic lamp saved me. I had to go refresh it because I had
Oh,
no way
nice!
of
You used it
killing.
against one of the bosses.
Yeah, Rama was. That was pretty much the only
Hmm.
way I was going to kill Rama because he was destroying my crap. I brought the
He
wrong team.
defeated me my first try, but I could have used lamp there 3 times and I would have won. And went back again with the Max on my freelancer and beat him that way.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
actually used
yeah.
Max on like 2 or 3 bosses in this seed.
I
Yeah,
ended up
shout out
selling it.
to your second try on Greg 3 just for immediately getting the Dumax proc.
Yeah,
Nice.
the vanilla Greg 3 was another problem for me though. I died to that, had to redo it. And then of course the game felt sympathy for me and gave me the first try Max kill.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky. I did that one pretty late. I didn't. I faded catapult and Lanka, and flying Lanka for a long time.
Yeah, that was let's see, I'm just looking at my
Also Odin
notes.
spot, unfortunately, but at least Odin spot not too late. But yeah,
That
I
was the
managed
last thing that
to.
I did too, yeah, and then I just didn't have to do any tablet areas at all, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably where I gained most of the time. Was I managed to first try both Fork and Sunken Walls, and any
Nice.
wipes on those is a lot of time.
Yep, but I was making a lot of other sort of little mistakes here and there too, so I knew I was sort of behind, and then the Omni thing, I was like, well, should have reset out, but I thought I might be able to make it, and that maybe I would get some sort of advantage by doing it earlier. But not only did I not make it the first try, but it wasn't anything. Well, it was a tablet, but it was not the right order, not the most efficient order.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
No, it was good. I wasn't really. I didn't feel like I didn't play all that well, but otherwise it was fun. Power outage was making me mad too, but that wasn't really a factor. I have, I'm playing on my old laptop. It's got battery that lasts for a little while at least, and I think power was out for maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then eventually OBS reconnected on its own and we were good, but sorry about whatever you guys missed.
It
Well, I mean,
happened
power outage,
right
not
after
exactly
your-
your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it happens fairly often where I'm at. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
At least it's a laptop, so you don't immediately lose power. Or
I
lose
can
the.
keep playing, and there's not really too much issue on my end. It's just that the viewers don't see anything until it comes back. And I was like, well, if this is an extended outage, I might not have enough battery to finish the seed. But it didn't take too long to come back, I guess.
Nice. What else
Yeah.
happened this seed? Did you end up getting X Magic on?
Yeah, I finally got it as I entered the void. Got X
Yeah.
Magic.
I think that's about when I got it as well. Double
And I just
silver.
put it
Let's go.
on. Put it on. Beat Minnow, who was difficult. How was Minnow for you? First fight in the void.
I burned like 10 Phoenix Downs on him, I think. He was a pain. But
Yeah,
not too
he's a
bad.
pain.
Double running shoes makes it not too bad. Just
Yep,
that,
yep.
and I ended up breaking a few rods for a lot of the damage too. Those are nicer than the attacks when for most of the game I actually split pretty evenly between summoning and attacks because I had the enhancer showed up pretty early off of like a random boss, I think, and then Ragnarok showed up as well at some point.
Yep, I got those as well, and yeah, did a little bit of rod breaking. Probably should have bought more rods early, but I was a little low on money. And then
Yeah,
when
I
I
forgot to
put
write it down.
basically when I put my notes away into the void, you had finished like 30 seconds before or a minute before or something, and I was like, oh well, here I am at the second boss in the void, and I'll
Yeah,
finish the seed later.
it was a inverse difficulty void. It started off with a really rough Minotaur, went to it's just Mary Jean. We had fire too, went down fast, and then the save boss was frickin' stalkers.
Ooh,
But
stalker. Annoying.
yeah, but from there it was like what insta kill. The next boss wasn't an insta kill, but it was easy. I forget what
Carlibos.
it was. Oh, a Caraboss, yeah, easy. Another Bolt 2, pretty quick
It
kill.
was Deathclaw
Okay.
to Carlibos to Flame Body.
And then, oh yeah, Deathclaw was the one, the free one, and then it was
Oh, the Ice 3 Spellblade finally coming
yeah,
through useful at the end.
the very last fight. I'm like, cool, Ice 3 was actually useful. Let's go.
No, but considering the time I would have taken through the void, I'm sure you were well ahead for most of this seed. So
Yeah, I had
even
a
though
bit of a
people didn't
slowdown
get to
on.
see what I was doing for some of it, they got to see you doing those things.
Yeah, it sounds like we pretty much did the same stuff. Looking at our inventories.
Yeah, my red mage was pretty much useless until
Yeah.
X magic, and then the seed was over for me. But maybe you got some good X magic use at the end there.
Mostly at Ned. Yeah, I did a lot of double armoring and double lifing I had to recover from a Meteo at the end of Ted.
Oh yeah, it's nice to have the double anything to recover from that, and then get the last hits in.
Yeah, Red Mage is actually low-key one of my favorite. Having X, or I guess X Magic in general is low-key one of my favorite abilities.
Yeah, X magic is great. The question when we picked it was, will the seed be long enough and give enough ability points that we'll actually learn it?
Right?
Because then it's amazing. But it's a long investment, and I've done many seeds with Red Mage where I never even learned it. So
Yeah. Fortunately, we had
You can
enough
just
other power.
if you go Mime and Red Mage and you have both mastered, you could have one person with X magic, two people with Mimic.
yep.
Easy.
I'm glad that we learned X magic that way. People got to see it in the tournament because I was like, when was the last time I even saw X magic in this tournament? Not sure if it even happened yet. So I'm glad it was in there.
I was gonna say we've only seen Red Mage twice, 3 times maybe now. If
Yeah,
that.
this is probably like the second or third time. Yep.
Yeah, this is the second time it's ever happened. So, first one was Lily Spikes and Seawolves, and they had Blue Mage, Red Mage. So, not a ton.
I don't remember that race well enough to remember if they got X magic or not. But no, it's been done. Now we can say it was part of the tournament.
Yeah, we're getting use out of everything. I think the only thing we're missing now is Mug Chicken Knife action.
Yeah, when I picked
requires
Thief,
the
I
chicken
did
knife
not.
with a thief seed.
Yeah, I don't think I got chicken knife. I might have used bug. Not sure. I've used thief knife, but
Yeah,
it's just because I had to on some other job or something.
yeah, we've gotten a good spread of stuff this tournament. Like we've done some level 5 dooming of Ned. Well, and by we I mean Joe did that.
My first ever.
Nice.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Fun to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I got wrecked in that one. What else happened? I am impressed that we managed to come out with 4 completely different jobs in our 2 matches, with the exact same 4 bans for both of them.
Oh yeah, we did that's right. We both did the same bands, but well, I like to mix it up. I don't like to use the same jobs
Yeah, and
every race.
I'm the same way, so yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do something even different for number 3. No plan yet as to when it will be, but sometime soon.
It's okay, we'll probably do Samurai Chemist, White Mage, Blue Mage next run, right?
Sure, there you go.
There you go.
The job that we've been
Easy.
banning. Yeah.
Easy.
Who knows, that might be fun.
Let's just do a regular race, dude. Which is basically what that comp will be.
All right.
But yeah.
So, any final comments here from either one of you two before we roll on out of here?
We'll just say GG's to Freddie, and also thanks to both of you guys for doing commentary and tracking and speed gaming, and I will try and be a little more on my game and make it a little closer next time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got me the first one, so it's only fair.
Joe, anything else to add?
Good. No, just happy to be here and can't wait for your next race.
Yeah, we'll have to get our game 3 scheduled for the see who wins the pleasure of fighting Joe in probably another 3-game series.
It could be a 4-game series, even.
Right, it could
That's
be.
true.
Well, we'll get into that though as we talk about Game 3, which will probably come up a little later this week or early next week. So, and again, thank you to my co-commentator, Judge Joe, and look for Game 3 of this thrilling series to come up again. Like I said, a little later this week or early next week, somewhere here on the Speed Gaming family of networks. And again, thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting this great race. So until next time, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day or night.